All right, happy Friday, everyone. Let me turn down that volume. It is good to see everybody. I hope you are as excited as I am to go through every lesson in Easy Jazz course. There are 5 simple lessons, and I've been selling this course for years and years. I think since about 2016, the Easy Jazz course. So I've been going through my old courses lately, making those very much available to you and making sure it's a very affordable resource. But the most important thing on the front end is you don't have to buy anything. I'm going through every lesson today. And what I've been really amazed with is how you guys have been taking me up on just getting the courses anyway, and I just want to say thank you. I want to say we've had about 15 people get the courses, even though I've been giving everything away. So I've been doing this fun little old course thing where I go through everything, and you guys have been really supportive. I've actually met a lot of you through you guys reaching out in comments and tell me how much you're enjoying this. So even though the courses are as old as 2016, 2017, 2018, they're still as relevant today. I still use them every day, and I still teach exactly the same way. I'm actually going to be remastering all of those courses, but in the meantime, they work great, and I'm actually going to show you how the courses work. I actually have it pulled up. Let's dig right in. No more talking, we'll pull it right up. If you do come in the chat, say hello. And what I always say is with these I've been doing, I will hack them up and make them so it just takes you through each lesson. But you guys have been saying just leave it up. So we'll see what you guys say based on feedback. I can either cut it down to a 10-minute video or we could just keep it at 20 minutes. So here we go. Example 1 of the Easy Jazz course, and I'll pull this up. It might be a little bit hard for you to see it, but hopefully you can see the sheet music. So all of my courses are digital video and sheet music download. As soon as you get a course, it has a download button, and you get these downloadable PDFs that has a table of contents. If you want to see example 1, you click example 1, it'll show you the sheet music. So if you want to actually watch the lesson of me teaching, you just click the top icon and it'll take you right through. And this one is a 4-minute video of me teaching example 1. Another thing is, as you go through these, this clickable index, you can print it out, of course, so you have all the sheet music. I always think it's important to tell you guys about the finger numbers. So I include those in the sheet music. You can always change your finger, the fingers you use, but based on some experience, I try to recommend the right fingerings that I think will be most helpful. So let's dig right in. So the first thing I like to do is, in the Easy Jazz Volume 1, is you get the fingers going by doing this simple pattern I like to call automatic pilot. In this version, we're doing C, E flat, F, F sharp, G, F sharp, F, E flat, C. Now this is the first 5 notes of the blues scale, and based on a C major scale, I always like to think in numbers: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So to build a blues scale, you use this formula: 1, flat 3 of the major scale, 4 of the major scale, sharp 4 of the major scale, 5, flat 7, and 1 of the major scale. So whenever we're spelling chords or we're actually trying to spell out scales, we use formulas based on the major scale. So this is very important to know. In this whole jazz series, we're doing a C blues, which has the chords C, F, and G. So that's the 1 of the C scale, the 4th note, which is F, and the 5th note, which is G. So we have 3 different chords to go to from the key of C, and that's all we're dealing with. So whenever we are going to do a lick or an idea in a different key, for instance, if I say use 1, 3, and 5 of the C major scale, that's a C triad, and then if I say do the same thing in F, 1, 3, 5, now you think of the scale of F. So whenever you're building a chord or a scale, you think of that particular major scale when you're using numbers to help explain it. Okay, now this course, as I go through each lesson, know that this is a brief overview. This is not an in-depth teaching video, because this is just about an 18-minute video we're going to do of me giving you all 5 lessons in sort of a fly-by mode. And the reason I tell you that is because I love to not only be very detailed on how I teach, but I like to take our time and say, all right, Here's how we came up with these first 5 notes. Here are the finger numbers you use. Here's the shape we're in. So I really dig down in the courses, but I'll try to do that today. Before I play this example, I need to tell you this, is that with these first 5 notes of the blues scale, and you say, all right, this is our what we call shape 1 at iMusic Academy. If you get your hand into this shape, you mash everything down, it sounds horrible, but you get used to building this shape through building up muscle memory of going up and down. And so whenever I play a blues, a C blues, I can use these 5 notes over any chord, and it's going to sound fantastic. Now, maybe you're stopping by and you've been hanging around iMusic Academy for a while, and you're like, man, that is so easy. Why is he telling me about the first 5 notes? Because if you have more experience, I want you to do the same ideas, the same patterns, the same licks, the same voicings that we're doing now, and you challenge yourself to play in different keys. So these are basic fundamentals. Everybody has to start as a beginner, but as you get more experience, you can start challenging yourself to play in other keys. I love to teach patterns. I love to teach major scales. I love to teach chords and scale patterns, things that you can move around to different keys. If you're an absolute beginner and you're an intermediate player, maybe your goal is to learn this in C and then maybe go up a half step and learn it in D flat. So we have lots of little goals that we do. Small goals, small amounts of material and repetition give you success, which gets you motivated to keep practicing. All right, let me just check the chat, and now we're about to dig in with the track here in just a second. I just want to make sure we're live and good to go. How is it that we already have 5 likes on this thing? So you guys are hanging out, and we have 5 people watching. That is awesome. Okay, I'm going to turn on the track, and you guys can let me know if you can hear the backing track. When I update these courses, I have a lot of new things I'm going to put in the new Easy Jazz course. One of those is a bunch of backing tracks that I didn't have the first time around. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is get the fingers going with this 5-note pattern. And just like the sheet music said, up and down. Do, 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 do. Now when you're playing the blues, you play a little bit and you rest a little bit. 1 and 2 and 3, and I'm just going up and down. And this is just example 1, and then it starts at the top and comes down. Let's do that again. We're just warming up the fingers. And 2 and 3. Play a little bit and rest a little bit. Already you have 5 notes that are going to sound like $1,000,000 no matter what chords you're playing in the key of C. 4 and da 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 da. And I'm going to demonstrate how awesome you can sound by just doing very simple things. And one more. Da 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 da. All right, listen to this. No. Or you can just do one hand. Again, play a little bit. 3 notes. Now rest. Rest is just as important as playing. Let's do that again. Da 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 da, do do da da, boom ba da da, ba da da da, ba da 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 da, and rest. 3 ba da da, ba da ba da da, ba da ba da da, ba da ba da 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 da. Now I could go for days by playing that, and I would have so much fun just getting the confidence of knowing that any of these notes are going to work and sound great. Now, before I go on to example 1, I need to tell you, even this first example, what's up, Rick? Awesome. Kevin, good to see you. My main man on the horn. Awesome, guys. Yeah, so let's talk about this. And Rick and Kevin, you guys know and can agree with me that we have small amounts of material. The first 5 notes of the blues scale are going to sound fantastic. So even if I'm skipping down a little bit in the chorus, if I'm playing these C9 voicing and I had this going right here, the first 5 notes of the blues scale, that's going to sound great. Even when I go to F, that sounds great. C blues scale over the F chord, even on G, F. And Kevin knows for sure, and Rick knows that there's all kinds of things you can do with this simple material right here. 1, flat 3, 4, sharp 4, 5. Watch this. If I go down, if I'm playing in the key of C and I go down 3 half steps, now I'm on the key of A. And if I learn the A blues scale, first 5 notes, now I have this. That's the A blues scale. But even just using the first 4 notes, you have this sound. In the same way that in C, I have this. But on A, it's this. You hear the same exact pattern. But with this little trick, know that you can go from C down 3 half steps, and now you're at A. So listen to what it sounds like if I do the same material, but starting on A. Now I'm going to start down here and do the A blues scale, first 4 notes. Again. Let's go back to the first one, the C blues scale. I like that sound. Let's do that again. If you play something you like, play it again, right? Boom, ba da ba da da, boom da da. Maybe ba da 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 da. A little tritone. A tritone is the sharp 4. Let's talk about that. I can't just throw out terms for an easy jazz beginner, right? I need to tell you. So C up to F is part of the major scale, but if you sharp, you raise the F to F sharp. Now you have what's called the tritone, which is the sharp 4. Sharp meaning raise, 1, 2, 3, 4, and it's a really cool interval. So in a lot of our jazz courses and blues courses, especially at iMusic Academy, I'm doing licks like this or this. This interval right here, Oscar Peterson is what I think about. I used to study a lot of Oscar Peterson, and he would use this a lot, this idea of this tritone, this really cool interval. So sometimes I was just doing this, bo da ba da 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 bo da da ba, or ba da ba da, and then I went ba da ba da. Just that tension is a lot of fun. All right, now we're about to go to example 2. But I wanted to spend a little bit of time on example 1 because I know Kevin, being the awesome musician that he is that he can take a simple idea like this and say, all right, I'm going to do the same pattern, but now I'm on the key of B. Now B looks a little bit different on the piano because notice that I start here and I go to the B and I go to the minor third, the 4, and I'm getting up into the keys as I go up to that F sharp. Still doing the first 5 notes of the B scale, but I'm also building up muscle memory to play B blues, right? So no matter what key, so Kevin or Rick, call out any particular key. And then I want to give you guys a real-time example, and then we will go to the next key. And this should encourage not only our beginners, but also our more intermediate and even advanced level players. Because this one example, while I'm waiting for Kevin to yell out a key, I build up muscle memory. My fingers are over each note, so I don't even have to look at my hand, and we practice going up and down, what I call automatic pilot. And then what I can do, all right, so Rick says G flat. So the first thing I have to do is figure out Rick, I don't know G flat. Let's pick another one. I'm just kidding. So G flat, also known as F sharp, right? So let's talk about where, if I'm in the key of F and I do the F blues scale, I'm using 1, flat 3, 4, sharp 4, and 5. If I go up a half step to F sharp or G flat, same note, it's called an enharmonic note. Notice what happens here. To play this minor blues scale, first 4 notes, I play the F sharp and then I skip up to A and then I go B, C, and D flat. I'm kidding. Yes, of course. No, it's not unfair. It's very much fair. I just love to joke around when people say that kind of stuff. Oh, I can't play that key. Okay, so anyway, G flat. Notice that I'm up into the keys to play this. So Rick, and for Kevin and anybody else watching, when you transpose things, often you're either, not in this example, we're using the same exact fingering, but to execute different licks, different chords in different keys, you sometimes have to learn how to play different fingerings and different positions, the way the hand works. So this is a perfect example, and I'm glad to know that you called G flat, is because I'm up into the keys, which has a totally different feel, okay? So go ahead and yell out a couple more. Let's just do like 3 different keys. Just keep going. So F sharp or G flat is a great one. And a great way for everybody to practice that is to go up into the keys and practice going up and down really slowly. So another thing you can notice is the top note is, a bottom note's a black note, and so is the top, F sharp up to C sharp. And then I go A, B, and C, as they're all white notes, right? That helps me out. And also, if I have trouble in any way, I could go down to F and get something that's more comfortable and listen to the sound. All right, B flat. Rick calls a jazz key, no problem there. So notice that I'm up here, B flat. Now, this is nice because it's a little bit of a mix between staying up into the keys and also back here. But I want you to notice, Rick and Kevin, is that when I mash all this down, of course it sounds horrible, but this is where I build my muscle memory, and that's kicking in. Boo da 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 da. It's not a bad idea to sing along with your improvisations. Kevin, being a horn player, he gets this. Boo da bo, and you start here the minor third. Bo da bo da. And you can play it first before you do it. Bo da bo da da. Bo da 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 da. Even if you think you're not a singer, you need to do it. The more you sing, the more you practice something, the more confident you'll get. And what I love about singing when you play is you start to really get out the music inside of you. And Kevin, being a horn player, really can sing his improvisations. He's really thinking about bo da boom da da bo da 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 bo da da ba da 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 boom ba da boom ba da 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 boom. All right, 2 more keys, and then I promise we're going to example 2. Spent a lot of time on that, but shape 1 is one of the most versatile things and awesome things I could show a beginner or an advanced player. You use this for building up technique, building up muscle memory, also knowing tricks like down to A will give you 4 more notes to play over that. All right, 2 more. So we're working together on pushing ourselves to transpose something into a different key with the same concept. You only have 12 keys that you have to do. All right, so one of y'all can go ahead and do it. 2 more keys. Rick, give me one, and if you're still here, you guys just might have left the building, which is okay too. All right, I'll give you about 5 more seconds, and then I'll move on. All right, okay, what's up, Vicky? Good to see you, as always. All right, let me pull up the next one, and let's see. Rick says A. Okay, Rick, we already did A. Oh, da, 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 ba. But going up to the A, Vicky, give me a key, and either Kevin or Rick, give us another key. We're going to do 2 more keys. So far, even in this particular video, we're already going through 4 or 5 keys. Okay, so Kevin says E flat, another awesome jazz key. Now, what I like about E flat, that's okay, Rick, I'm just having fun. Notice that on E flat, I'm kind of up into the keys. Boo da 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 da. all up into the keys. And notice that it's 4 black keys in a row, or at least, I'm sorry, it's the 4 black keys together with an addition of 1 white note, the A note. Notice that how you can practice this. You can go up, or you can go or you can go boom and listen to it. All right, and one more, and then we're moving on, I promise. In the next video we do, I'll give you guys the blues scale fingerings in all keys if we get enough interest. And if you want to see that, then put in the comments after this video is completed, or whenever, or even while it's live, just say, yes, I would love to get all the scale fingerings for all the blues scales. All right, Vicky says F, great choice. The first 5 notes, F, A flat, B, B, and C, another jazz key. Vicky is an amazing part of iMusic Academy. She helps me with my designing of courses, and also she's a classical pianist turned to be a jazz pro and a blues pro now. But so she chose the key of F, which is really awesome, a nice little jazz key there. Okay, and let's move along. Very good. Okay, example 2. Let me pull this up. A quick shout out while I'm pulling up the next key or the next thing. Let me just make sure I'm good, guys. I want to make sure I still have the music pulled up, and there it is. Okay. Again, with these, all you have to do, if you want to go back to the index, you hit play, and it'll take you right back here, table of contents. And then if you want to watch the training video, which are way more in depth as to than what I'm doing right now, but I'm trying to get through all of this, and I sure did spend a lot of time on example 1, but there's just so much to do. Repetition is your friend, guys. You'll see when you have lessons with me, I have a blues academy and a jazz academy. It's all one and the same. And for the last 2 to 3 years now, maybe even a little longer, we've been doing 2 lives a week. They're private lives on YouTube, but we go through this stuff: how to play a blues scale, how to improv, how to rest, how to play, how to build voicings, how to do jazz voicings, how to do Ray Charles, like all of this stuff. But it's repetition is your friend. We keep doing this stuff and we're never done with it. Just because you learn this doesn't mean you're done with it, right? We do repetition. All right, here we go. Example 2, this is where the real fun starts happening when you start doing comping voicings. A comping voicing is a chord that complements the soloist. The soloist in this case is you. So these notes right here, E and B flat, is just what we call a 2-note voicing. They're also called guide tones, which we'll talk about in just a minute. But a 2-note voicing, the bottom note in this chord is the 3rd. It's the E. It's the 3rd note of the C major scale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3. The 3rd tells you whether or not it's a major chord, C, E, G, or a minor chord with an E flat. When you flat a note, you lower it by a half step. So in this case, this tells me it's a happy chord. It's a C major chord. If it was a minor chord, it was in a sad sound, it would be like this. Oh, da, dum. So the first note is E, the top note is B flat. So normally in a C major scale you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So the 7th note, this is a major happy sound of a 7th, but because we have a chord symbol up there, a chord symbol is just a chord that says C7, and what that's telling us is that we want a bluesy kind of sound for our 7th note of the major scale. And to make a bluesy sound, you're going to lower this by a half step. So now we have B flat. So the notes for this 2-note comping voicing is E, they are E and B flat. The numbers from the C major scale, you would call this the 3rd note and the flat 7 of the C major scale. Normally C major has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You're going to flat it. So now we have 3 and flat 7. And if you understand that, put got it in the chat. And I know you guys understand that. All right, let me just try to pull this window up. Okay, the very next thing we're going to do is, if this is my C comping voicing here, these are in whole notes. So as I'm going through, I'm going 1, 2, 3. 3, 4. And I like the fingers right now for this particular 2-note voicing. You're going to use your 4th finger and your thumb. So here we go. You have the 3rd and the flat 7 of the C scale. And then our next chord, which is the F chord, I'm going to go down, and now I'm on my pinky on E flat. All right, of course. Yep. That's awesome. All right, Rick, have fun. I hope everything goes well. Very good. So E and B flat, and Rick, you can let me know if I need to hack this video up as well as anybody else. I know this will be a little longer video if I don't move it along. So E and B flat, it's great to see you as always. So E and B flat, and then down to F chord, which is flat 7 and 3. Now, we call these 2-note voicings guide tones, and the reason is the 3rd of a chord tells you whether or not it's a major chord, a happy chord, or a sad chord, and the 7th note tells you not it's a happy sound or a jazzy, bluesy kind of sound. In this case, whenever you see a C7 chord on your sheet music, they want the 3rd and the flat 7. They want that bluesy sound. So watch what happens here. If I use what these are called guide tones, if I go down a half step, that immediately goes to an F7 chord. So I went from a C7 and an F7. Now you're saying, how in the world would that be an F7 chord? Now I'm thinking of an F scale to do an F chord. Watch this, F, G, A, and there's a B flat in the scale of F. Da 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 da. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1. So watch what happens down there. That E flat is the flat 7 of an F scale. Normally an F scale has an E, and I'm going to flat that. So we have that. Now watch what happens. C7, go down by a half step. Now I'm using fingers 5, 2, and I immediately get into an F chord. And then you're going to go back to a C chord. And then you're going to go to an F chord again twice. The very last chord is our G 2-note voicing, our G7, and notice what's happening here. I just took this chord and I went up 2 half steps, and now I'm on the notes F and B. That is a flat 7 of a G scale. A G scale normally has 1 sharp, and it's F sharp. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1. If I told you to flat the 7th note of the G scale, you do this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and to flat it, you go down a half step. Now you're on F. So there's your flat 7 of a G scale, and there's your 3rd note of a G scale. G is your root note, 1, 2, and 3. And I realize this might be moving a little bit fast for some people, but just know I break it all down, of course, in the course, and there are a lot of other resources that can help you with this, and I can also help you if you have any trouble, you don't understand anything. So to get through this whole thing, I'm going to turn on the backing track, and then I'm going to put the right hand with it. Here we go. 2, a 1, 2, ready, go. 2 and 3 and 4. Right now, this backing track doesn't go to F in the 2nd measure, so I'm just doing 4 measures of C, and now I'm on F. 2 and 3 and 4 and F7 back to C7 2 times, and these are whole notes, so I'm going 1, 2, 3, 4. Now G, 2, 3, 4, F chord, 2, 3 and 4, and C, 2, 3, 4, and G, and it starts over. Let's do it again. C chord and whole notes. 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, and 3. Now we're on the F chord. 2 and 3 for 2 measures. 1, 2, 3. Back to the C chord. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 measure of G, 1 measure of F, and then 1 measure of C, and then we come back to the top with G again. Now let's do the right hand. Let's do it an octave up. I'm just going up and down, right? Boo, da, 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 da. Now I go to F in the left hand, but stay in the right hand. How awesome is this? This is my automatic pilot, meaning I'm going up and down and really concentrating on that left hand. Now I start here. Now, if you have more experience, you're going to do this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3. We call that the and of 2. 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and long, short. a long, short. 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and we're gonna go to C at 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Now, automatic pilot with the 1 and 2, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 2 and 3 and 4 and we're here. All right, now let's improvise for a minute. How about the A blues scale? If you like something, you can wear it out. All right, let me stop that really quickly. Very good, everybody. I hope you're enjoying this. We are ready for the next lesson. We're going to example 3. All right, now it's going to get really fun. You take this right here. 2-note voicings are really, really important. They sound amazing. You get this going on automatic pilot or at least the first 5 notes of the blues scale, and you build some really nice melodies and improvisation, and you loop this backing track over and over, which there is a link to the backing track in the description. Brief side note, I told you on the front end that I made those courses, Blues Volume 1, I called it my old course teaching, right, that I'm showing you. Here's everything, but if you want the resource, you can go get it. And I made everything, like 4 or 5 different courses on sale this weekend, and it could be a little more if people keep getting them, but I just haven't decided for sure yet. But for $14.99, and even this easy jazz course I made for $9.99 just about 20 minutes ago. So you get this entire PDF, but nobody has to get anything I'm telling you. I've been doing these trainings. You can go back and watch them. You want to support the channel, all that is much appreciated. And like I said, about 15 people have taken me up on even just Blues Volume 1 and 2. So I'm going to tell you this. This is like my ad between the ads, is that you can get, right now for $14.99, you can get Blues Volume 1, the old course, which is still fabulous and relevant, Volume 2, which came out in 2018. You can get the Easy Jazz course for $9.99, and Blues Alternate Bass Volume 1. I just did a course on all of those bass lines, which is really taking off, and people are loving that. I put that on sale as well. I put Blues Volume 1 Shapes, excellent for beginners, $14.99. And the last one is I put 20 tips for 5-minute success for $14.99, I believe. Now that course is crazy good. And I'm just saying, it is what it is. It is awesome. I came up with that course because I have a passion for 2-measure phrases, like all those Ray Charles ideas, and we're taking these where we go. So I love to teach how to play. How do you take something that sounds so cool and how do you break it down? It does that in that course. It teaches you how to take licks like this. You have 5 minutes and you need to practice. It's 20 different tips, 20 different lessons on 5-minute practice success. So I might want to do this for my 5 minutes that I have. I might want to go. And I do that for a while and then I go. And then go up D. And as I said earlier, it's often 2 or 3 different fingerings to get you through playing one idea in all keys. And all that's really important to me. All right, back from the advertisement, we're back to the actual course. And we have 3, flat 7, 9. This is where it gets really cool. 3 of the scale of C, flat 7, and 9. Now, why is that a 9? Why is he calling that a 9 and not a 2 of the C scale? Because if I have the flat 7, I add what's called extensions on top. Doesn't this sound amazing right here? Right, this idea of 3, flat 7, 9. These are what we call extensions. You have the 3rd and the flat 7. I'm adding notes on top. It sounds amazing. So now I have this. And when it goes to the F chord, all I do is take my bottom 2 notes, which we called guide tones when they were 2-note voicings, and now I'm going to go down a half step, and I keep the top note the same, and now that becomes an F13. Why in the world am I calling that an F13? Because from an F scale, F, G, A, B flat, C, D, E, F, that is the flat 7, that's the 3rd, and because I have the flat 7 in the scale, I'm adding notes on top, and that is no longer a D note, which is the 6th note, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of F major, but now it's the 13, because now I'm adding notes on top, 1, 3, 5, and I go up here, and I'm adding the top note past the flat 7, and it gets this beautiful, listen how nice this is. So far these chords are this, for C, and this is F13, and the only other chord you have to learn is this, which is a G13, which is this same chord transposed. Okay, now let's turn on the track. We're already at lesson 3 now, so now we're really moving along. I hope you're enjoying this. If you're coming in here, I want to know, what's up, Lewis? You are welcome. Man, I tell you what, this last 2 weeks, I have to say this, I just did this radical shift. And I just putting everything out there. Like a lot of people don't even know that I create courses. A lot of people don't even know I have a membership. Not many people know that I have an Instagram channel that has almost 50,000 people. And here's the this is not a Bob's bragging at this point. This is me telling you how much you guys have been not only learning about me, but engaging with me and all this. I mean, we're doing this together. When I talk about my channel, it's our channel, and I really believe that. So for Lewis, if Lewis hasn't been hanging out, or even Kevin may not know this, but on Instagram, I have this channel called Jazz Piano Studio. And this is a funny one I'm about to tell y'all. This is why we're doing a segue. Jazz Piano Studio. And if you don't follow that on Instagram, that is absolutely fine. But you need to go check out the video that is now my most popular video. It's getting close to 800,000 views. And it is the dumbest video, the most ridiculous video I have ever done. And it's about 7 or 8 seconds long, and it's me saying that I want to teach AI how to play the blues. And that's all I'm going to say. You need to go watch it. It is a silly video that almost has 1 million. I mean, it's coming up to, I think it will be at 1 million. It surpassed all of my other teaching videos. And if you love jazz music, I think you would really like that channel. Don't give it away, Vicky. Don't give it away. But anyway, so I've been connecting with people all over the world. And for our music academy that we have, I have a guy from France who is actually starting tomorrow to join our group. Like, that is, to me, how awesome the internet is. You get to connect with all kinds of people. But let me tell you, if you're into jazz harmonies, blues, I put it all up there on this Jazz Piano Studio channel. It's coming up to, we almost have 50,000 people. But here's the crazy stat. Are you ready for this? I got the notification like 2 days ago, and I screenshot it. It says my views on Jazz Piano Studio have been viewed 1 million views in 30 days, the last 30 days. Now, about 700,000 of those are the video that I'm talking about, but I'll still take it, right? All right, back to the. Anyway, I just want to say thanks, Lewis, for hanging out, and everybody else. You guys have been connecting with me, and it's been amazing, man. I have never had more fun than I'm having in the Blues Academy, the Jazz Academy. It's all one and the same. But connecting with you guys on YouTube all over the world is awesome. And I love your emails too and comments. I've had more comments come in the last week than probably in the last year. Like, it's awesome. All right, here we go. Let me pull up. Okay, so now I'm going to turn on the track so I can show you guys how these voicings sound. I use these over on blues and jazz, even when I'm playing out. Watch this. Let's just listen to these voicings. So this is C9. You have 3 flat 7 9. 2 and 3 and 4, and I'm just doing whole notes right now. Now 4 of those, now we're on F13 and 2, and now we're going back to C for 2 measures, and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2. Now we're on G13, now we're on F13, and now we're at C, and then we're going to go back to G. Now I'm going to play the 5 notes up the octave so I don't get in the way of the left hand. 2 and 3, very simple. 2 and 3 and F chord. And 2 and 4, excuse me. Now I start on the G up there. Let's do a little improv. And 2 and again, I like that. But dun 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 dun. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Let me tell you about something really quickly here. So as we learn about playing this first 5 notes, even though I created this course in 2016, 2017, since then I've been on this journey to work with people who are beginners, intermediate players, and even for myself. Like, I created this beginning blues sheet. So for anybody who has purchased in the last week, if you got the Blues Volume 1 or 2 or the Easy Jazz course or any others, I'm going to manually, I've already been getting this pile of email addresses together. I'm going to email you guys, and I want to send everybody this beginning blues sheet. And even if you don't get anything of mine, like you're like, I don't want to buy anything, I just want to watch the videos, I'm fine with that. If you want to email me and you want to get the beginning blues chart, I'll send you that. But what it is it takes this right here. Let me actually see if I can pull this up. I want to show you what I'm going to send you guys. And I just want to give you guys tools based on these simple concepts that are so awesome. I'm going to search beginning here, beginning blues sheet. And this one keeps evolving. But I want to send this to anybody who if you invest in any of the courses, I'm going to send it. But again, if you can't afford it, if you don't want to get anything, I'm fine. That's fine. No big deal. But I would love to send you guys something. And if you do get it, you get any of the courses, just know that I will manually see that your order came in, and then I'll just email it back to you. Okay, so let me pull this up. This video has already gone longer than I was thinking, but that's what it's been doing lately, and that's my fault. I'm having way too much fun with this stuff. Okay. Pulling up an extra window here so I can show you guys. All right, here we go. Let me shrink this down here. You guys will like this. Now, I've even done boot camps like in our music academy where we'll go through all of these. And let me just pull this to show you a little bit what I'm talking about. Actually, I'll shrink it down just a little because I know you guys like to see the fingers and things like that. But to try to let you know how this PDF works, I'm going to start the track and I'll pull up this real quick. Wrong one. Let me make sure I'm on the right. Make sure you guys can see. I have too many windows open. Okay, it's on the right thing. Okay, so this beginning 5-finger pattern, and this is going, when I remake this jazz course, I'm putting this in there. The first thing is really easy. Just use the 5 fingers that we're talking about, the 5-note blues scale. All the notes are going to work. You get the muscle memory built up. And then we have the licks like this. The first and second one we've already done. The next one is this. We have right here, 3 and 4 and da da ba da. Now I'm just gonna loop that, okay? Keep going. Same lick over and over. Again. Okay, now I'm gonna do the next one, which is this. And 2 and 3 and 4 and boom. And 2 and 3, even over G. You might want to even sing it. But let's do the next one down, which is what we've already done. And 2 and 3 and 4. I'll even go up the octave. Here we go. Again, one more time. Let's do the next one. It's the Oscar Peterson idea. Actually, it's this. Let me do that one again. Repetition is your friend. Now, let's say that you're a beginning blues player, or jazz player, and you don't have enough material and you feel like you can't improv. Well, I just gave you 4 ideas that you're going to sound like $1,000,000. And then when you start to do Lewis, Vicky, Kevin, everyone else watching you start combining them. Maybe I'm going to do the first 2 measures, so measure 5 and 6, and I go boom, da, ba, doo, da, doo, da, bo, da. Now the next one. And 2. Maybe I'll loop that again because I like it so much. And 4. Maybe the next line now. Maybe the Oscar Peterson. Okay, now if you keep going down the list here, it gives you more and more and more to do. And they're all really good. I absolutely love them. But let me go back to the top and let me stop this, because this particular beginning blues sheet, when we originally did it, we said, okay, this is before we did this version of the trio version, is we did this with your boogie woogie bass pattern. So you have this. All of this is so important. So you have, even when I go to F. Or listen how nice this would sound when we go boom, da, ba, doo, da. So you notice what I'm doing there. Like, I just changed the bass line and I used the same exact lick. Now here's how this is going to come in handy. You guys know that I just did Blues Volume 1 in all keys on YouTube. You can go watch that right after this lesson. Blues Volume 2 or alternate bass lines, which I just did yesterday. Every lick is on there, including licks like this, like you're at the beach or in New Orleans. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So even by having material, small amounts of material, and having a bass line like this, I can go. So you see what's happening, like it totally changes the feel by just changing the notes. Or you can go automatic pilot. You get it. Okay, let's move along. We're almost done. We're on lesson 3, or is it 4? We're at 4 maybe. Yes, we were at lesson 4. All right, now, I told you that it was going to get fun, but it's about to really get fun. You guys can hang in there for another 10 minutes and then we'll be done. That's right, Kevin. And Kevin, being a horn player, you more than everyone else understands just simple melodies, like melodies and singing it going up and down and playing along, looping it for days over and over. That's the way to do it. Like you could take those first 4 notes, or even this one right here. What is it doing? Minor third to tritone. So in the key of F, minor third, major third. So it doesn't matter what key I'm in. Minor third, tritone. If you're with me, Kevin, put yes, you got it. You take a simple idea and you can play it in all keys. In the same way, Lewis, Kevin, Vicky, and everybody else watching, we have 8 people watching now, which I am absolutely thrilled with. You take this one idea of shape 1 at iMusic Academy. You're building up your muscle memory. Your beginners stay on C. You have a little bit more experience. Learn this thing in C sharp. Learn it in D. Learn it in E flat. And I'm not doing it to try to show off or anything. I'm doing it to say, this is how you get better. You take things up and down. Yes, you could go around the circle and things like that. But the only reason I can do any of this is because I started here and I got my muscle memory going. And if you feel overwhelmed with it, I have an even better solution for you. There's something that I teach my jazz students, and I call it the up-down approach. My up-down approach goes like this. You start with C, up and down. Let's just say I did this 5 or 10 times. And I'm trying to go clean, and I'm trying to play with precision and try to play everything kind of exact. And I really focus on that. And I would normally play it a little bit slower. But then I say I'm going to go up a half step. So I went from a comfort key up a half step to now something that is not as comfortable. Notice that I'm up into the keys. So I would call this it's C sharp or D flat, whatever you like to think of it. That's my up key. I go back to my comfort key and then I go down a half step to my uncomfortable key of B. Now B's a little bit different because you go up into the keys just a little bit, and I do have a classical background, so these fingering ideas that I'm telling you, it comes from knowing and studying with some really good players that taught me how to move in and out of the keyboard. Okay, so the things that I'm showing you, it's not like I'm just making, well, some of it I kind of make up, but a lot of it I get from people that I studied with. And so when I say to play with B, like I get used to just going in and out of the keys and learning how to do the same. So then you end on your comfort key again. So the up-down approach, you're going to do that up and down, and we're moving it along so very nicely. So when people say, man, I just don't have time to practice, here's what I say, just like my 5-minute course, my 20 tips for 5-minute practice success. And I'll be honest with you, like, what's up, Jeffrey? Good to see you, man. So one of my most recent courses is 20 tips for 5-minute success. I thought it was a home run. I really did. It's 20 tips, and it's 2 measure phrases. It's everything from all of our Ray Charles licks to how to do this and how to go up and play it, and how do you practice these small little 2 measure phrases if you have a limited amount of time. And probably only about 5 people got the resource. And I'm just like, well, everybody's different, and they haven't figured out. A lot of people don't know that I have courses because I don't mention them a lot. But that is one of my newer courses. But it's one of my favorite things, and let me tell you why. Is because if you have a short amount of time, you do what I do right here. This is my little kitchen timer. Get you one on Amazon. Decide, you know what, I'm going to play for 5 minutes. And what I usually do is set my sessions for 6 minutes. That gives me, and I hit start. It gives me a minute to kind of gather my thoughts. I'm going to practice this. So maybe if I had 5 minutes and I say, all right, I'm going to turn on my metronome and my timer, and I'm going to do this, and maybe I do it 4, 5, and then, or however many I decide. Then I do the same thing in D flat. Now, and I would go through all the keys. And the reason I'm telling you this is because even with this shape, you could show up at your friend's house who only plays guitar and E. And you're like, okay, what am I going to play? You have 5 notes there that it doesn't matter what key. If you show up and your friend only plays in D, and you go, so you see what's happening? You're building confidence to play in whatever key by focusing on small amounts of material. And so I don't know why a lot of people didn't get that course. I'm okay with it, but I did make it for $14.99. If anybody wants to get that resource, it's the sheet music, just like all my other courses. It's the fingering, and it's 20 different tips, everything from Ray Charles to jazz to blues of, hey, you don't know what to practice? Here you go. All right, enough of that. It sounds like another ad for me, but I'll take an ad of mine than forcing you guys to listen to another ad from somebody else. How about that? All right, we're almost done with the course. Please hang in there. We already did the 3-note voicings. All right, now, this is one of the most awesome things I could tell you guys. Blues and jazz work so well together. When I came up with Blues Volume 1, and now we're up to Blues Volume 4, you guys know that, or may not know that. Blues and jazz work well together. I had a gig the other night, and it was a jazz gig, and during the gig, we did have to play some really interesting pop song. Anyway, so during the gig, I'm constantly doing blues licks and jazz licks and blues. So as you're learning this stuff, know that it all translates. Like this lick that is from Blues Volume 1, minor third to major third, it's the root, flat third, 5th, 6th, and the octave. But if I turn on Red Garland and I can't remember the name of the song, the whole song is like, you know, it's just like a slow blues. It's amazing. So this lick right here is simply that. 1 and 2 and then 3. And notice that I did a triplet rhythm in the beginning or in the middle. 1 and 2 and then 3 and 4 and 1. Now, for my more experienced people that have been hanging out, you know I want you to play it in some different keys. So in order to do this, you only have to know one other fingering. If you are sliding from a minor third to the major third, it's a simple fingering of 1, flat 3 to 3. And I go 1, 2, 2, 3, 4, 5. Another important thing, and I'm jamming a lot of tips in here, is that the octave, you want to play the octave and get this spacing down. It's such an important thing and a sort of a powerful thing to be able to do. So even if you played this lick and you go 1, ba da 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 ba. All these things you can do where you play the lick going up, boom. So let me give you an example of how you could play the blues scale using octaves. You go. Let me turn on the track and demonstrate what I'm talking about there. This is not a segue. This is, I promise, relevant to what we're doing. Let's see. Let's just do octave. Notice that I'm playing the same thing in the left hand as I am in the right hand. So when I think of Red Garland, that's what I think of. I like that. Let's do that again. I'm going to go 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 2, and 3. Let's do that again. And 2. Let's go up and do that. Just doing the scale in octaves. And what you're doing is building up the spacing of the octave. Let's do. I like that. Okay, now let's put the lick here with the track. So let's just say that if you have more experience, I want you to do two things. I want you to play your blues scales and octaves, but also I want you to know that to play your flat keys, it's all the same fingering. 1, 2, 2, 3, 4, 5. To play the keys that you can't slide from, you have to hammer on. So watch this. To play D flat, I go 1, 2, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And notice that I'm up into the keys. 1 and 2 and then 1 and 2 and then 3 and 1 and 2 and then 3. Now, if you actually have a course of mine or you're in the Blues or Jazz Academy, you know that I don't teach this fast. I'm trying to move this along because we've been going for a long time. But normally I would teach it like this. 1 and 2 and then 3. Sorry, I'm playing two different things. If I do 1 and 2 and then 3 and, you see what I'm doing? 1 and 2 and then 3 and I'll go back to C. And the great thing about a key like this is I can play any key with one of those two fingerings. If it's a slide key, I slide, very easy. D flat is a hammer-on key. This is a quick tip for all my more intermediate players that have been hanging out on this more beginning live stream. So watch this. D is a hammer-on. You have to hammer on the minor third to major third. E flat is a slide key. E is a hammer-on. And I do 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. And you can either go 5 or 4 again. I like 4 there. F is a slide key, which will feel identical as F and G. F sharp is a hammer-on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. G is a slide key. A flat, you get up into the keys. It's a hammer-on. You hammer on the minor third to major third. And I go to the fifth pinky on the F, and then I pick up my hand and do the octave. A is a hammer-on key. And I hammer on the minor third to major third, and then hit my fourth finger on F sharp. B flat, slide key. We know that, right? Nice bluesy slide. B, you get up into the keys and hammer that thing on. Open up the hand for your octave, and then I always like to end where I started. Something comfortable, end on C again. That's just a kind of a personal preference of mine. If you're hanging out and you're used to, absolutely Jeffrey, if you're used to the way I like to teach, I say for my beginners, stay in C, maybe go up a half step, maybe go down a half step, get comfortable on C, F, and G. If you have more experience like my Jeffries, Vicky, Kevin, and maybe Lewis and anybody else hanging out, take an idea, transpose it, go up and down the keys. All right, now, I didn't turn on the track for this one, but we're almost done, and you want to hang around for the very end. The next one is Bill Evans' voicings. Here we go. Just get used to that. You can play it in any octave. Each one is going to feel the same. The shape here from G and F, they all feel identical to me. All right, now here's a little kind of pro tip. Listen to this. But da 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 da. I went down to the sixth note and I did kind of a da 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 da. Watch on F. Da 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 da. Over on G. Okay, now you have tons of options on that one lick. I could play it like this. Bo-da-da-da-da. I could play it like this. Bo-da-da-da-da. Go up to the flat 7 instead of the octave. That's really cool too. Another little pro tip that I'm going to sneak in is I tell my students this all the time. If you're not feeling bluesy, you go da-da-da-da-da. You wake up in the morning, you're like, man, I'm not really feeling it. Going to that flat 7, dee-da-da-da-da-da, makes you get bluesy, right? I could play this. Ba-da-da-da-da-da, or ba-da-da-da-da. This idea of dee-da-da-da-da-da is just a nice feeling. You're not feeling it? Play that, and it'll encourage you. So I could play it like this. I could play it like that. I could play it like this. I could go up to that E flat with my octave. I could go ba-da-da-da-da-da. So lots of options. Anytime you have a lick that you've learned from me, you learn it and then make it your own. And you do that by just playing over and over, changing where you play it, changing the rhythm a little bit, and have a lot of fun with it. Okay, we're about to move in the bass lines. I feel like there was one more thing I was going to tell you. I know what it was. So even for my beginners, and I have several beginners at iMusic Academy, and I absolutely love it. Awesome. All right, Kevin, you're doing, hold up. Very cool. All right, Kevin, you'll have to let me know how that goes, and let me know when you start practicing this stuff. Let's do some horn playing soon. Okay, so guys, the most popular video at iMusic Academy starts like this. You guys know it's the most popular video ever for my channel. I call it my first million view video, and it's this. So go watch that if you need to. It's also in the 20 tips for 5-minute success, just saying. This is a perfect example. You learn one idea and then you make it your own. I'm going to do it right now, and I'm going to show you how this is relevant toward what we're doing. So watch this. Here's the lick, is exactly as it is. Just up and down. When we go to F, it's the same exact feeling. And back to C. But I don't have to do the whole lick. I could just go up part of it and come back down. Watch. Now on F. Again. I could start at the top and come down. F. There's the whole lick, and now I play a little bit and the rest. Now listen to this. All right, I think you know where we're going with that. Take one simple idea and you make it your own by just exactly the same way that I just did. Okay, and I took 2 licks together. I did the one we say is the most famous one from Blues Volume 1, it's example 1, and then this that we just learned to go with our jazz course. All right, the very last page, you've done really awesome to get to the very end. And if you have enjoyed this, we have 11 people watching. I want you to do me a couple of favors. I want you to like this video, and I want you to maybe leave a comment after the video is over, and let me know if you're enjoying practicing this. I'll ask you guys now the question. I am recording this video so I can hack this up into about a 20-minute video if I need to. I don't even want to know how long we've been going, but it's y'all's fault because y'all are so awesome and I love the interaction. All right, here we go. The very last page. I'm glad you hung around because now this is where everything changes for us. Jazz Piano Series, Volume 1, Example 5, Walking Bass and Comping Chords. All right, now we shift gears. So we talked about our 2-note comping voicings. In this case, we're doing a D minor 7 to a 5-7, which is G7, and C major 7. So the most common progression in jazz, class, everybody, 2-5-1 in jazz. So we're taking a 2-note D minor voicing, which is F and C. We have the 3rd note of the D major scale. Normally D major has 2 sharps, F sharp and C sharp. We're doing a 3 flat 7. Gives us a beautiful D minor voicing, 3 and flat 7. And whenever we're spelling chords, we spell left to right. Okay, just like you read left to right. So watch this. When I go from this 2-note voicing down to, then I just drop my 4th finger down to B, and now I'm on a G7. So notice that I just had to make one change. I walk this bass line up. Now I'm here. And then I have the C major voicing, which is 3 and 7 of a C major scale. So I have my happy sound on the 3rd, and the 7th note tells me whether or not it's a major 7 or a dominant or a bluesy 7. So we like the happy major one here. So listen to what we call voice leading. Is nice voice leading is when you have a sound like that, da 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 da. Really nice and smooth voice leading. The bass line is just doing this: D, E, F, F sharp, G, and my fingering is 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then I go down the octave. We just talked about how nice and important learning your octaves is. In this case, you're doing an octave, G down to G. So we have 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 5, 4, 3, 2, and we're stopping there at C. Okay? Now this is really important because of what's coming up next. The next thing is we're going to take this 2-note voicing that we just learned, and now we're going to add the D minor 9. Now why can I call this this E note from D major? Why isn't that the 2nd note? Because I have the flat 7, and just like we learned earlier, to do a 9, a D minor 9, what do? You have the flat 7, and now I'm adding on the top. Now instead of a 2nd note of a D major scale, it's the 9th. So I'm adding and stacking on top. You have this same bass line. And all I had to do to get from a D minor 9 to a really cool G13, all I do is lower my middle finger down to my index finger, and now I have G13. So let me do that slowly. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 5, 4, 3. And here, we're just going to go 3, 6, 9, which is one way to play a major voicing. It's called a 3-6-9 voicing in the key of C. The 3rd note of the C scale, the 6th note, and the D becomes a, we call that a 9. I know it doesn't have the major 7, but it has a 6, so 3, 6, and 9. Okay, so you would just loop this over and over. The most common progression in jazz, and it's kind of one of its simple forms. The great thing about a bass line like this is notice that I go whole step, and I go half steps up to my 5 note, so the 5th chord, so 2 up to the 5 chord, and then you go down the octave and chromatically up to C. So whatever key I'm in, if I was in the key of F, I would do the same formula. I go up a whole step, then chromatically up to the 5th note of C scale, which is C, and I walk up the scale to get to the F chord. So it really helps with transition. In fact, all the time I'm teaching people how to say, all right, you've learned the voicings, now I want you to practice the going up by half steps and play the same exact thing. And just like I said before, to play different bass lines or chords or scales in all keys, there are often different fingerings you have to learn to be successful. This right here is a different fingering from this. Right? I did 3, 1, 3, 2, 1, and so anyway, there are 3 different fingers you have to learn there. So it's just about learning how to maneuver different fingerings for different keys. All right, now my favorite one is the Bill Evans type voicing. Here we have 3, flat 3, 5, flat 7, 9. You made it to the end. You deserve this beautiful sound. Listen how pretty that is right there. D minor 9, flat 3 of a D scale, 5, flat 7, 9. And all I did to get from a D minor 9 to a G13, what do? I lower my middle finger down a half step, change to a G in the bass, and now you have a beautiful G13 voicing. And now you have this, and this is one way to play a C major. You have 3, 5, 6, 9, or you can go 3, 5, major 7, 9. Both sound great. And sometimes I'll also, instead of walking it up like this, I'll do 5, 2, 1. So I might do something like this, 4, 5, and then go up a half step with my students, and then we go up another half step. Now this is for my more experienced. You get it. So that again is for people with more experience. If you're a beginner, you get this. And try to play it right. And then you end right here. And one thing I didn't do today, we did our backing track, but I also encourage people to use the metronome as well. That's really important. All right, we made it through the end of the Easy Jazz course. Just a little fun fact, I did create an extended version. It's 10 examples long, and I made it available for certain people that I didn't want to overwhelm people. That's why I ended up doing 5. And so when I redo the new version of the course, I'm going to add the beginning blues scale sheet and other things. All right, let me wrap up by saying once again, we have like 11 or 12 people watching right now. I need to tell you guys how thankful I am to all the people who, even though I've put all my courses out there, go back and watch those. It's like Blues Volume 1, every lick. Blues Volume 2, every lick. Blues alternate bass lines, every lick. Now, I haven't had a lot of people since I did that yesterday or the day before. I've had a lot of engagement, but not a lot of people have decided just to get the course. Again, that's okay too. Nobody has to buy anything. If you want to support the channel, I made all of those courses. You can go to my website, imusicacademy.com. There are links in the description. You can see what there is out there. And I made a ton of these resources that I just put everything of me practicing everything out. What's up? Hugh is a member of our academy. Good to see you, Hugh. Really good to see you on the stream today. And everything $14.99. This Easy Jazz course, $9.99. I put it for $9.99. The sheet music, all my courses have sheet music, fingerings, and video. So just like I showed you, you just click on, like if you're working on this, you just click on whatever you want to work on. Like if it's example 3, there's your sheet music, there's your fingerings. If you want to watch the video, you just click it, boom. And they're all right here. You can do a full playlist of that. Now, anyway, just know, even though, let me just turn up the volume. Exercise number 2, except we're adding one note to each left-hand chord. In this case, we have it's just like I just taught there, but at least you have it in one small, you have it all contained with the PDF. So it's beginner to advanced concepts and 5 easy lessons. And I made even the Easy Shapes course for $14.99. If you see any courses that are on sale at imusicacademy.com, know that they're on sale for a reason. I just did teaching videos on all of those courses, and I said, here's everything. If you want to get the resources, you can. I don't expect any of that, but I'm very thankful to all of you who have been getting the courses. I've had people, like I wake up in the morning and people from different countries have purchased the courses, and I'm making a list of all the people who have been able to do that, get the courses, and I'm sending everybody the beginning blues sheet. I'll say something else that I said earlier, is that if you don't want to get any courses and you just want to watch the videos and everything, that's fine too. You can email me if you want that chart. I'll send it to whoever. But again, I try to make them really affordable, so if you want to get any of the courses, get them. If you have any questions, let me know. And what I do on all of our lives is I say, you have 30 minutes to tell each other goodbye, and I'll see you guys in the next video. And if anybody is even remotely interested in being a part of our Jazz and Blues Academy, it's really more like Blues and Jazz Academy. Vicky's a member, and so is Hugh. And my dad is even a member of my own academy, which is awesome. We have a lot of fun, and anyway, it's very meaningful to me, and so is teaching you guys as well. I hope you have a fantastic weekend and Labor Day, and keep commenting on videos, keep reaching out. Let me know your joys and your struggles of hanging out at iMusic Academy. Have a great day, and I will see you in the next video, and I'll give you 20 seconds to say goodbye, and I'll see you guys on Monday.